Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Luck is Not a Strategy. I'm your host, Matthew Von Trapp, and in this, the first in a series of 10 videos, we are going to explore what is wrong with the construction industry. And don't worry, we've got the disruptive technology solutions already lined up for the next video series. So what am I talking about when I make the presumptive statement that something is wrong with the construction industry? Well, we don't need to go far to see some major differences between the construction industry and the medical, aviation, or manufacturing industries, for example. But before we jump into those differences, let me tell you that the scope of my discussions will center around large commercial construction programs, those which typically run above $50 million US, and which have multiple projects and contractors associated with them. Much of my experience with this topic is on large commercial programs between $20 and $50 billion. Okay, so let's take some high-level differences first. The first question is a simple one. Does the construction industry meet their own expectations? Well, they say that it's their goal to deliver on time, within budget, and to scope. Yet, when was the last time a large commercial program met any of those standards? In fact, if you talk to any of the older construction project managers, they probably can't remember when the last time was that a construction program was delivered to client expectations, especially related to time, cost, or quality. By best estimates, the commercial construction industry has about a 2% success ratio, unless you want to count those programs that continue to re-baseline throughout the duration of the project. Hey, I'm old school. I don't count people who change the baseline. Call me old-fashioned, but that's the way I roll. So if they aren't successful by their own standards, then what if we compare them to, say, manufacturing, medicine, or aviation? I want you to imagine that you have a serious illness, and the first thing you do is look for an expert, as one might expect. Would you trust a doctor who has 40 years of experience but only a 2% success rate? I wouldn't. When your life is on the line, you look for someone with thousands of surgeries and a high success rate. It's very similar with manufacturing and aviation. No one wants to get on an airplane where the pilots tell you there's a 35% chance of reaching your destination without a variation in the flight path or an extra charge on your credit card. Which highlights the biggest problem with construction, that most of the time, the designs aren't complete when the construction begins. Oh yes, beginning without a complete plan is unheard of in business, manufacturing, aviation, and most other advanced industries. But in construction, it's the way they work every day, driving costs and rework exponentially, and for sure driving your schedule as a client, causing serious safety concerns along the way. I've talked to guys in the construction management, construction engineering fields who can't wrap their mind around the fact that the business model of construction is to blame. And of course they don't. It's all they've ever known. Several years ago, I was responsible for establishing some new manufacturing systems as part of a value stream revamp at Caterpillar. The team I was given to help make the transition from old methods to a new mindset all came from the same factory. In my first meeting, I showed them a graphic of on-time delivery, quality, and costs, comparing their plant with the rest of the plants in the Caterpillar universe. Their plant was one of the worst performers in all those areas, and safety too. I told them that this was all they'd ever known. This was what they had learned, and it had to be unlearned before they would understand the new way of doing business I was trying to show them. We took trips all around the world to Canada, the US, Japan, China, and Brazil, and they were shown different ways and new methods on how to accomplish their tasks. Once we had a meeting of the minds and their paradigms were lifted out of the mindset they were used to, we could now get down to the innovations that needed to happen in order to achieve manufacturing excellence. This video series is designed to draw attention to the serious issues within the construction industry and prepare the way for new disruptive technologies. In fact, in the next 8 videos, I'll discuss the details of the key ingredients needed to create any product or service, and the 9th video will wrap it all up. But I need your help. If you're a client looking to start a large construction program, you need to think twice about using the same business model that has left so many other clients stranded with irreconcilable cost overruns and poor quality. Please don't consult a gray-haired construction expert, because at best, he's only ever used spreadsheets and old methods in his 20-plus years of experience, and he's most likely never seen a commercial construction program completed to standard. Those in the construction industry don't know and rarely use standard business processes, and forget about improvements that look at the value stream or use tools such as Six Sigma. It is an industry begging for disruption, and thanks to technology and innovations, the time has come. So before we conclude, let me briefly mention the 8 ingredients needed to make any product or service, because I'll be using these 8 central points as a comparison mechanism in the coming videos. I call them the 8 M's. There's management, method, material, manpower, machines, Mother Nature, mental alignment, and money. So management refers to the leadership responsible for execution. The method is the approved and published methodologies, the procedures, the protocols. Material. Those are the things we need to make it work. Manpower. Those are the people that are trained to follow procedures, handle materials, and provide feedback to management on issues. Machines. This is the equipment. I refer to Mother Nature as social, political, and economic circumstances. Next, there's mental alignment, which I already talked about. That's a meeting of the minds. And finally, money. That's your purchasing power. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll discuss each one of those in details in the coming videos. Stay tuned, and until then, remember that luck is not a strategy. I'm your host, Matthew Von Trapp. Thanks for tuning in.